Welcome to Whispers Beyond the Veil. I'm Brooke Ashley. Tonight's story is called The Groundskeeper. Remember, the veil is thinner than you think. I don't go to cemeteries after the dark. Even in my line of work, it feels disrespectful, like walking in on someone's dreams. But that night, I needed to say goodbye one more time. The gates of Green Hollow Cemetery were half open, squealing just enough to make me hesitate. The brass sign still glimmered faintly in the light of my car's dying headlights. I parked under the old willow, the one that shed spark like paper, and I stepped out. It had just rained. The grass slicked against my ankles, cold and soft as tongues. Every stone shone like it had been polished for inspection. I carried a single candle in a jar, tucked inside my coat to block the wind. The flame barely held. I whispered my loved one's name once, quiet, like I might wake them. That's when I saw movement deeper in the graveyard, a flicker of a lantern, orange, swaying, and deliberate. I thought maybe another mourner had come late, like me. I was wrong. At first, I only saw the outline, tall, stooped, coat dragging on the ground. A wheelbarrow rattled behind him, one wheel squeaking every few turns. He moved slow, purposeful, like a man who'd been doing the same job too long to stop. The lantern swung from his hands, painting the rows of headstones gold, then black, then gold again. Each time the light hit, the names on the stones seemed to change, letters sliding like insects. I crouched behind the oak tree near the fence, close enough to see the glint of his shovel. He was humming. Low, tuneless, broken, a melody I almost recognized. Something about it made the hairs on my arms lift. He stopped beside a grave with no flowers, no fresh dirt. The marker was tilted, half sunk, the inscription erased by moss. Then, without a word, he drove the shovel down. It wasn't the sound of maintenance. It was digging. Slow, deep, and careful. I stayed perfectly still, my breath caught on the edge of my throat. Each shovelful landed with a sound that didn't fit the night. Too wet. When he leaned forward, the lantern light showed his face for the first time. Gray skin, like candle wax. Eyes sunken, but glinting faintly. No expression, no pause. Just the steady rhythm of a man unburying something he didn't mean to. After a few minutes, he stopped and wiped his brow and reached into the hole. For a moment, I thought he was fixing something, repositioning a coffin maybe. But then I heard a sound I will never forget. A wet drag, like fabric pulling against flesh. He was lifting someone out. The shape that came up with him wasn't a skeleton. It wasn't bones. It was fresh. A body. Limp, gray-blue, its head lolled backwards. The hair was long and matted. The clothes still wet enough to drip. I covered my mouth before the scream could leave. He heaved the body into the wheelbarrow with a dull thud and adjusted the arms until they folded neatly. Then He brushed the dirt from his sleeves, the kind of gesture a man makes after finishing dinner, not digging up the dead. I wanted to run, but the candle in my hand made me visible, so I crouched lower behind the oak, praying the flame would stay small. The groundskeeper began walking again, not towards the caretaker's shed, not towards the chapel, but towards the far north corner where the fence broke into the woods. No graves up there, just wild earth. He was taking the body out. I waited until he vanished past the tree line. My knees ached from crouching. I was shaking, whispering, "No, no, no," like it would undo what I'd seen. That's when I heard it. A second sound. Footsteps behind me. I froze. The sound was soft, but wrong, like bare feet pressing into mud, not shoes. Slow, approaching the same tree I hid behind. I didn't turn. I didn't breathe. I didn't even blink. Then a voice, inches from my ear, whispered, "You shouldn't be here after dark." I turned fast, ready to scream, but there was no one. Just the trail of fresh prints beside mine, and a single drag mark leading back towards the open grave. The groundskeeper was back. The wheelbarrow was empty. He was filling the same hole again. Slow, methodical. He didn't look up, didn't notice me. But as the dirt fell, I saw something pale beneath the surface. A hand. It wasn't the one he'd buried. It was smaller, feminine. Old bones wrapped in memory of flesh. He wasn't digging people up. He was trading them. That humming came again, closer now, almost underneath my breath, as if it had caught my rhythm. Each time he shoveled, I felt the ground around me shift, like the graves themselves were sighing. Then he stopped, mid-motion, lantern swinging in his hands. Slowly, deliberately, he turned and looked directly at my tree. He couldn't see me. I told myself that. But the light found my coat just enough for the flame to glint off the glass jar in my hand. He smiled, small and knowing, and said, "You came back just in time." He lifted his lantern higher. The flame flared, enough to show the grave beside him, freshly dug, and the marker already waiting, carved with the name I knew too well. My own. I ran. Branches tore at my sleeves. My candle fell and died. I didn't look back. I could hear the squeal of the wheelbarrow chasing me down the path. The gate loomed ahead, twisted open just enough to squeeze through. I reached it, hand shaking, scraping against rust, and stumbled into the road. The sound stopped. No wheelbarrow, no humming, just rain. I looked down. Mud streaked my hands, but not brown. Dark red, black at the edges. When I reached my car, something was waiting on the hood. A single flower, fresh, damp, and a small brass nameplate laid across the petals. My name again, but not just the name, the date. That night's date. I drove home without looking in the rearview mirror. The smell of turned earth followed me, clinging to my clothes. When I reached my front door, I dropped my keys. They landed on something soft. A strip of sod, perfectly cut, damp and cold, waiting like a doormat. That night I dreamed of Green Hollow again, the lanterns moving among the graves, the wheels squeaking like a crying child, the groundskeeper humming that slow, broken tune. In the dream, I was no longer behind the tree. I was inside the wheelbarrow, watching him cover me one shovelful at a time. And with every thud of dirt, the same words repeating calm and low. You came back just in time. When I woke, my fingernails were packed with earth. And outside my window, just before dawn, I heard the faintest wheel squeal rolling past my house, heading, I think, towards the next name on the list. Remember, the veil is thinner than you think.